Alright, back to classic Sonic kind of level I despised when it was first announced, music and level design, but it grew on me, I'm not gonna lie. Casino Forest isn't bad.
It's not the worst classic Sonic level in the game.
I really don't like it though, to be fair. It's got too many little irritating things, and when you tie that up with the fact that the physics are absolute wank, it's not the most pleasant level.
Blah blah blah, you are just being mean for the sake of it. Mystic Jungle Casino Forest. So is it a forest inside a jungle? What's going on here?
Well, no, what it is it's a forest inside. It's a casino inside a forest, inside a jungle, inside a ruin.
Okay, you just.
This is the Turducken of levels.
Oh my god. Oh. Not the best video Jontron's ever put out, just going to say that for free.
I didn't even watch that.
Well, you missed nothing, let me put it that way. What is going on over here? There we go.
Classic Sonic physics is what's going on right now.
Oh, shush.
No, that's Tom fucking up.
Well,
yes,
because that's
it
really
is.
not a hard jump to make.
I am shamed.
Classic Sonic just voluntarily walks into the spike ball in shame.
And then I do. No elemental shields in this game, as far as I can remember, so, yay.
Yeah, it kind of becomes a bit noticeable when they give you the regular shield in a water level later on. And I kind of think, did I just get the bubble? Oh wait, no, I didn't get the bubble.
Oh, I'm drowning. Really fast for some reason.
Yes. Having fun there.
By the way, don't jump over this and go down there. That's a bottomless pit. How do I know? Oh, I experienced it firsthand.
Yeah, that's the only way to know, because that looks like one of the other sections earlier in the level where you just go to a lower route.
And actually, so many of the levels in Forces have bits where you think, oh, that's going to be death, and then no, it leads to just a lower route. And then there are other sections where you think, oh, surely there's a lower route beneath this. No, there isn't.
I'm glad they had that section to give you loads of rings, but the momentum fires you above most of them.
Wow. That was Casino Forest. It's okay. It's not the worst classic Sonic stage. S rank, because of course, make the kiddies feel good about their purchase. Like, I'm not usually one to complain about easy and short levels, but they took it too far in, like, the other direction this time.
Yeah.
It sort of gets to this point where, like, one of the main appeals, like, not so much classic, but definitely, like, for modern Sonic, is that it's inherently meant to be, like, a speedrun game where it sort of rewards you for, like, boosting through faster and finding shortcuts and shit. And I will give credit and say there are some parts where you can find shortcuts and you can find alternate routes, and there are some quite cool ones I've seen people do, like, there's a skip past the snake in the Boost to Win level and shit like that. But like, when the levels are like a minute and a half anyway, I don't really feel accomplished from jumping down from like a minute and a half to a minute 20 or some shit like that. It just, you know, it doesn't really feel rewarding at all.
I'm a big fan of Aqua Road, short as it is.
Definitely.
Music-wise, at least, it's great.
Now, this is the level where I kind of understand the problems you were saying people were having with the Sonic variant. Because, like, in this you don't have control of the half-pipe sections. So here you can sort of go flying off. Like, I got through it okay for the most part, but I have seen people have some problems with it, and problems that are much more understandable than, oops, I didn't run into the boost pad.
Well, maybe you just need to get good, mate.
That egg dragoon run.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
That's one of the alt routes that there is. One of the more obvious ones. We look so silly with this cowboy hat, I don't care.
Oh my god! Alright, I withdraw my previous passive-aggressive comments. I nearly flew off the stage.
Yeah, so maybe you need to get good, suck it.
Yeah, oh my... Oh! Karma bites
First
me
death.
again!
First death of the run!
We'll go the other way this time, it's fine.
Yes, go the easy route.
Shut up. This is just the no red ring route, which we're not getting now. I don't really care, because the red rings open, what? Bonus stages, which we're not going to play any of, because I played like one, and it was shit, so no thanks.
Well, you see, this is something that's actually quite frustrating with Forces in the way it works, is so the getting 5 red rings unlocks an EX stage once you get to so many, but also it unlocks another set of collectibles within the level. So you've got red rings, you've got number rings, and then you've got silver moons. And once you've got all the red rings, you get the numbered rings. After you get all the numbered rings, you get the silver moons. And it's just like, why are you making me play through this level at least a minimum of 3 times in order to get everything? What was the thought process behind this? Like, I get that you want us to replay these levels multiple times because that's the type of game that Sonic generally is. But why are you making me do it that many times to get the collectibles? Because that just feels slightly frustrating.
Oh, it's just elongating the length of the game, mate. They want you to get your money's worth because it's, so short in the main story.
Yeah, but then the question is, well, why couldn't they actually just add more levels rather than doing that? But then I suppose budget, and also we've got a team of level designers who are not as experienced as they should have been, or there's not a big enough team of them to deal with it, and so they just couldn't make that many levels, and that's why we've ended up where we are.
Okay, this is a real complaint. I should not be getting an S rank if I died. That's one thing that Generations got right.
Oh yeah.
Among the many other things, so I didn't mean that as a backhanded compliment.
You guys actually talking about the game and shit, I'm more distracted by how that hat isn't falling off.
Well, I'm more distracted by the fact that masks don't literally stick to your face, they just hover in front of your eyes.
Well, that's basically all of the Avatar clothing items, because if you look at the hats, they're just kind of hovering just above the heads. The glasses and stuff, they're just hovering in front of your face, they're not sitting on anything. Masks just hover. I think the only things that actually look connected are the clothing items, and that's because, well, bar the belts and stuff, because they are literally just hanging. Everything else has got something to connect to, but I think that's because it just makes it easier to... But they are items of clothing that you can just close off, and it's much easier to animate effectively.
Oh, I think we're coming up to the best line in the game, aren't we?
Oh yeah, here it is.
Too much. Look, I'm perfectly fine. It's been generations since
Yes.
So yeah, it's the same Sonic from Sonic Generations, because apparently Dimensions includes time and space. I mean, it does, but shut up.
That feels like a bit of a retcon, really, that in Generations it was Sonic from the past, like his younger self, whereas now it's like Sonic from this other dimension. I don't know.
It could be an alternate timeline, that's technically another dimension.
True. Do we really want to just get like a bit of paper and try and sketch out the entire Sonic fucking timelines?
Oh, it's like trying to figure out the ending of fucking Bioshock Infinite or something.
Well, I have no frame reference from that, but I have spent excessive amounts of time analysing the Sonic lore in the past, and I gave myself a headache, so now we've got these extra dimensions, like we've got the Mania one that presumably is also like now retconned to be the Generations one and the Forces one.
Yeah.
Although whether that is the same classic Sonic as like 1 through 3 and K, that's its own question as well. Because like you could say that like Mania reusing levels is the stand-in for that. My head hurts now.
I suppose if you're gonna say anything, you could suggest that you have the 1 through 3 and K classic Sonic, who then appears in Generations, but obviously because of Generations is time travel-y, timey-wimey stuff, it's when classic Sonic goes back to the past, it creates a new timeline where we end up with Mania Sonic, and that's why we've created a slightly different dimension because of the time shenanigans of Generations, but that is really overthinking it and bullshitting to give an excuse for a retcon that is either a retcon or not, but nobody really cares because, hey, it's a Sonic story, and most of the time nobody cares about story in Sonic, except they do, because we're weird.
Like, the thing there is that you're saying, like, it feels a bit bullshitty in that, but in most major schools of time travel theory, there's, like, because it's not something we can accurately test using the amount of energy resources we have at the present, there's various theories, and one of them is that like any time adjustment would lead to an alternate timeline purely on the basis that if people were time traveling around in our current one, that would inherently lead to paradoxes, even through minor things. And the only way that could not lead to a paradox is if there were like a separate timeline, because like that's the sort of thing that if we are going to the point of comparing actual time theory to Sonic the Hedgehog, that does kind of justify having the other dimension. Also, I was bullshitting through that entire level, I apologise.
That's fine. Like, I didn't have anything to say, it's just City Heights again, you know, but you play as Sonic and you beat it in under 1 minute 15 seconds!
Yes.
Alright, let's see what Shadow has to say for himself after 10 minutes of getting new. See, that's just a recaller. I mean, granted, OCs are built upon the recaller principle, but I would have just preferred, like, just make another similar looking t-shirt instead of just giving us a recaller. I like those boots. I might select those boots.
Yeah, they're basically Converse and I like that.
I prefer the dungarees.
Yeah, I've been using the dungarees on my recent file, and yeah, it looks a bit silly when he's running around in them.
Okay, let's see what Shadow has to say for himself.
Shadow, what's the deal?
So, are we all really excited for the epic Shadow boss fight?
Chaos control.
Oh, yeah.
Another Shadow?
No Chaos Zero boss fight. No Shadow boss fight. They could have ripped the latter from Generations. They did not.
How?
Faker, I think you're the fake hedgehog around here.
I'm not laughing, Flame. I'm not happy.
No, but I was, so that's what counts. But during that cutscene there, I like that you sort of heard all hell Shadow going like through a radio or something, and I just like to imagine that Shadow carries around like an iPod or something with his thing blasting out loud.
Just the way you describe it is like playing through like a radio. Like, oh my god, it's a remix of fucking Dreams of Absolution played through a window in another house.
You know what I think would have been... So, obviously, this game has moments where it's breaking the fourth wall, i.e. it's been generations since we last met, and you're going to tell me your entire plan and so on and so forth that Sonic did when he properly broke the fourth wall. Why couldn't we have had Shadow appear and say, I think you're the fake hedgehog around here, and just make that SAT reference, because everyone would have just gone... That's actually quite funny, I like that. It's cheesy and ridiculous, but yes, you go!
There's a reason that didn't happen, and that's because these aren't the Boom writers.
Yeah, I guess so.
True.
Because, like, the Boom show does shit like that all the time, probably a bit more than it should, because their shtick is meta humour. And, like, I like it to a certain degree, but when that's the majority of what you're working with, like, maybe knock it on the head a bit, guys.
Yeah, so, the story thus far. Infinite can create, like, phantom copies with the Phantom Ruby. We found a prototype, and if you remember back to Sonic Mania, there was a Phantom Ruby prototype there as well. So basically, Sonic and Tails, and I guess Knuckles and Knuckles, if you choose to play as Knuckles and Knuckles, were running about stoned off their arses, just basically bumping into walls that weren't there and whatnot. And, yeah, they were struggling against basic egg robos with magical powers.
Man, I wish this game carried on from the Knuckles and Knuckles timeline, and like it was just when that portal opens, it's just two Knuckles that come up and save Tails from perfect chaos.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at that, I'm laughing at Operation Big Wave. Fucking FTCR did a charity event called Gift Bump, and that was basically where FTA played through the whole game for the first time, a blind run, and there was a fucking bit near the end, I suggest you look this up, where Operation Big Wave gets like the biggest laugh out of me ever. It was amazing. There's a lot of build up to this, and if you've noticed, most of the story, like I said, has been told through these codec cutscenes.
Yeah, and they haven't even addressed the fact that the Avatar stole Knuckles' hat. Like, that's the most important part of it.
Well, you know, he made sure to rip the stars off so no one could call him out on it.
Quick focused attack isn't bad. We also have
That is the kind of thing, like, I think the Mania devs would have put in if they were the ones making forces, though. Like, I said I wasn't going to get cynical, but it does feel like that sometimes.
the Phantom Ruby. We should
Well,
be able
that's
to
the kind of
Sonic Home.
difference between, like, the Mania team's use of throwbacks compared to this. This does feel like more of a cynical use of throwbacks, like particularly with Classic integrated the way he is. This doesn't feel like it's done out of love for Classic, and you can tell that by the way that he doesn't play like Classic. It feels more like Izuka wants Classic because Classic sells. And
oh well, on to better things. This is easily one of my favourite levels in the game. I adore Capital City.
Oh, this is good.
Pretty fun. Like, I like these set pieces with Infinite whenever he shows up. That's really cool. Is there a way to not get that red ring?
Don't take the second Springamadoodah, I guess?
Basically, yes.
It's harder to miss it than it is to get it. I don't think that's how bonuses work.
That's pretty effective. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah. These sections are really cool, and it's a good way to sort of show off the Phantom Ruby properly in gameplay.
Yeah, I wish they'd done more of this. This should have been a balls to the walls, like, psychedelic trip of a story. But they don't really do much with the Phantom Ruby, honestly.
No, they don't. Like, basically, the Phantom Ruby exists for the purposes of making this level interesting, and Infinite's boss fights, and a teeny tiny bit of story to explain a certain peculiarity that has occurred with the narrative that you may have already noticed. But that is basically all the Phantom Ruby is here for. And it's just like, you could have done more with this, like as an idea. A thing that can cause complete messes to the mind is really awesome, and particularly for Sonic could lead to some really exciting levels. I mean, this in particular is quite an exciting level.
I mean, shit, just think about it. Like, what does that remind you of when you see that giant thing breaking down buildings and whatnot? Flame, what comes to mind immediately?
You're probably trying to lure me into saying something, but I can't think off the top of my head.
Perfect Chaos, mate.
Yes.
Oh, I guess a little bit, yeah. That could have tied into actually giving us a fucking Chaos fight.
Yeah. Fucking... It's fine. I adore Capital City, like I said. Music's great. I really like the level design and what they do, but it's just too short. Ow. That's what I get for complaining, I guess. Oh my god, I need rings. Need rings. Ah! I'm panicking. I'm panicking. Give me rings.
Thank you.
Bless you, Jesus, for this commentating bants. I enjoyed those bants, says Infinite, not sounding anything like Infinite. I'm probably not going to get an S for that. Yeah, A. It's fine.
Ah, that's a shame.
I enjoy how we're like over halfway through already. That's literally how short this game is.
It is insane. Well, you know, since we are quite a ways into the game now, obviously being over halfway, what is your guys' favourite Wispon to use?
Burst.
Yeah.
Burst. I didn't use any others. The burst does the job.
Yeah.
I'd say the ones I like the least are Cube, because I never ever found a use for the Cube stacking platform, apart from getting like one red ring. Hover, which you get at the, like, right at the tail end of the game, actually.
Yeah.
It's good for like the second to last level, to speed up the last part of that level, but otherwise, I didn't even get to like try out the hover, like, special ability, which apparently allows you to fly or some shit. There is Frenzy, haven't played that. But yeah, Burst, it's just all around useful. Lets you burst through the air, gives you a flamethrower, which does fuck tons of damage, which I'm going to use to fly through this fucking weak-ass boss fight over here.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Although I love the infinite banter here, I gotta say.
Oh yeah. But yeah, regarding the Wisp ones, I know that the drill wisp, when used properly, can be sort of broken. I know that's become one of these speedrunning tricks. Like, I think it was Darkspines who uploaded a video showing that often. It also can let you get to places you're not meant to get to. Like, there's one part in the jungle level with the slides where you can clip through like an invisible wall, go on the slide, which triggers the sliding physics, then land back on normal ground and just slide around aimlessly, and it's fucking hilarious.
Jeez.
But yeah, this boss gave me some grief when I was trying to homing attack it because I kept getting hit like a complete fucking idiot. But as soon as I realised, Well, not even like that, but when I was trying to attack him. But then once I realised that you can just sort of use the burst and just flamethrow him to death whenever he does his like lunging in attack on you, then like he became piss easy. You can do this in 2 cycles if you want.
There you go. That's cycle 1. I just find it a bit hard to. Oh my god, that's not what I want.
You survived somehow.
It's cool. I got the double jump. No one can harm me, for I am Entom 60 core.
No one can harm me until I idiotically jump into something like so.
Yeah, it's always the way. It's kind of hard to see the projectiles in this particular bit. Not gonna lie.
Definitely.
It is, and sometimes the enemies sort of blending with the background when everything goes red as well.
It's
That
cool.
was you.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, finish him off. There we go.
Just due to the damage I took, that probably won't be an S rank, but I'm fine.
I love that line, like, you put up quite the fight. Shame you didn't, mate.
Thank you. Beautiful. Oh!
Wow.
Okay, shut my mouth. Maybe it's just my self-deprecating nature, being the wonderful person that I am, but I don't think that deserved an S rank. I got hit too many times.
Yeah.
No, I think you played shit there. There, I'll be honest for you.
Yeah. Drill Wisp is another one I wasn't a fan of. It does have its uses, utility-wise, like getting through levels and whatnot, but combat-wise, and especially in a 3D arena, nope.
Shout out to that one Lost World level.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that skin you just got?
I don't know. I clicked through it. I think my mind was trying to get me past the horror.